What will the weapons of the future look like? Today we'll be taking a look at lightsabers, self-steering bullets, and much more. Join me for today's top 15 most advanced future weapons. Number 15. Metal Storm. While being able to fire a few thousand rounds of ammo per minute is impressive, the Metal Storm takes things to a whole new level. That's because this experimental weapon platform has the ability to fire off a whopping 1 million rounds of ammo per minute. While this may seem crazy, the design for this 36-barrel system began in the late 1990s. Despite being absolutely incredible in theory, most armies have been against adopting it for their arsenals. This is because while the Metal Storm could easily tear a tank to shreds, it would have to be very close to it, and it would likely be impossible to use it in most combat situations. Therefore, unless it's improved substantially, it likely won't be seeing any action on the battlefield. Number 14. Lightsaber. If you're a fan of the Star Wars franchise, then chances are you've watched your fair share of lightsaber duels. However, while the film props didn't pack much of a punch, YouTube personality James Hobson went viral when he created a fully functioning lightsaber. Now, in order to make one, Hobson and his team had to create a powerful electromagnetic field that was strong enough to contain a plasma blade. They did so by using the principle of laminar flow, which required them to combine propane with oxygen and then send it through a laminar nozzle to generate highly concentrated flow of plasma. The end result is a near replica of a lightsaber that projects and retracts on command, burns at 2200 degrees Celsius, and is hot enough to slice through steel. Number 13. The Phaser Rifle. While most of the weapons on this list are super deadly, the Phaser Rifle is a little bit different than most. That's because this Halo-style weapon is a laser gun, and while most have been banned under the 1995 UN Protocol on Blinding Laser Weapons, the Phaser gets a pass due to a small technicality. More specifically, since this blinding laser's effects are only meant to be temporary, their main goal being to disorient the target, and this makes them legal in the eyes of international law. This could make these rifles one of the most useful non-lethal weapons out there, yet they've made headlines for more than just their use on the battlefield. That's because many believe the Phaser is named after the phaser gun from Star Trek, as both work in a similar fashion. However, given the fact that there are currently just 2 phaser prototypes in the US Army's arsenal, only time will tell how useful they really end up being. Number 12. The Mojave. Drones are quickly becoming an important weapon on the battlefield, but the US-developed Mojave is easily one of the most advanced out there today. First unveiled on December 9th of 2021, it's been coined as the F-35 of drones due to its absolutely incredible combat capabilities. More specifically, the plan is for these drones to carry between 12 to 16 Hellfire missiles into the field and then act as an unmanned combat aerial vehicle. The hope is that the Mojave will be fitted with different combat loadouts that will serve a variety of purposes, with this including reconnaissance, close air support, and armed overwatch. If that wasn't enough, the drone also seems to be very versatile in terms of locational storage, as it will be able to take off from runways that are as little as 120 meters in length. As such, this drone will likely be of great help to US soldiers on the battlefield. Number 11. Robot Soldiers. While the United States has a long tradition of sending either young recruits or unwilling conscripts into war zones, it turns out that they're starting to replace some of those troops with robot soldiers. And while none are advanced enough yet to fully take on the role of a human, one of the coolest being developed by the US Army at the moment is Roman. Short for Robot Manipulator, Roman has the ability to identify objects in its environment and either traverse them or lift them out of the way. This is possible due to its unique features, as it's not only strong enough to do one-handed push-ups, but also has several different hand attachments that can interact with a variety of different objects in very specific ways. However, it's not able to fulfill all of its duties to perfection just yet, and so I hope that the Roman continues to be upgraded and improved. It's really cool. Number 10. Self-steering bullets. When a soldier shoots a gun, they can generally expect their bullet to travel straight. However, in recent years, the US Army has been testing guns that use futuristic self-steering bullets, also known as X-Acto bullets. In tests, even beginner shooters were able to hit moving targets when using them. And while the US government has been pretty hush-hush about how they work, we have a vague idea. What we know is that these bullets likely use small fins to redirect their path when necessary, and that the technology within them almost certainly compensates for weather, wind, and target movement. This in turn should theoretically make snipers far more accurate, while also allowing novices to be competent almost immediately. The military's ultimate hope is that these bullets will allow soldiers to take shots from farther away while not sacrificing accuracy, which in turn would save the lives of American soldiers on the battlefield. However, only time will tell whether or not these incredible bullets will achieve mainstream adoption. Number 9. The Active Denial System. No one likes sitting outside on a super hot day, and the Active Denial System weaponizes that dislike. Developed by the U.S. Army, the Active Denial System, which is essentially a non-lethal heat ray, is intended to heat up the skin of those it's pointed at. While it's not hot enough to immediately burn them, the sensation is similar to having a very hot oven opened in your face, with its approximate temperature believed to be in the range of 45 degrees Celsius. However, given its ability to cause some serious damage if pointed at someone for a long time, it should come as no surprise that the Active Denial System has been the target of a lot of controversy. Number 8. Thunder Generator. While simulating thunder may seem like a strange use of time and resources, it turns out that this type of machine could be an incredibly important weapon. Recently developed in Israel, the Thunder Generator is a sonic blaster that can produce a series of ear-splitting explosions. More specifically, it works by firing shockwaves through people and objects, and although they're technically harmless, they're so loud that they reportedly make you feel like you're standing in front of a firing squad. They work by mixing gas from a cylinder of domestic liquid petroleum with air, which creates a detonation in the form of a high-intensity blast. The system has the ability to generate 60 to 100 bursts per minute, with each burst traveling about 2,000 meters per second and lasting up to 300 milliseconds. Yet despite its immense power, it costs just $25 to produce 5,000 blasts, and the company behind the machine hopes that the Israeli Defense Forces will push their Thunder Generator in order to assist with both riot and border control. Number 7. Helios Laser. While lasers may sound like something out of a science fiction movie, it turns out that this is exactly the type of weapon that's currently being mounted onto U.S. Navy ships. Made by Lockheed Martin, it's essentially a 60-kilowatt laser that's not only capable of completely obliterating drones and small boats, but also blinding sensors, putting holes through unmanned aerial vehicles, knocking down low-flying aircraft, and even redirecting missiles. Now, what's crazy about the Helios is that it's not only very effective, but also has almost unlimited power. That's because unlike conventional firing systems that use missiles or bullets, the Helios's laser never runs out of ammo and can keep going so long as the boat has its power. If that wasn't enough, it turns out that this laser is not just a one-trick pony and has the ability to double as an intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance sensor when the laser isn't being fired. Despite costing $150 million a pop, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. Navy continues to strap these futuristic lasers onto its ships. Number 6. The Death Beam. While Helios may be a pretty incredible laser, the Death Beam, currently being developed by the U.S. military, is said to be even stronger. As of now, lasers have generally been used to bring down drones and small ships. However, the U.S. Army now wants to expand their laser capabilities so they can destroy much larger targets. They plan to up the ante on their 60-kilowatt Helios laser by creating a 300-kilowatt laser that is officially unnamed. However, for the purposes of this video, we will call it the Death Beam. While most of the info is under wraps, what we do know is that they will function far differently than regular lasers. More specifically, while most laser weapons use multiple industrial fiber lasers that combine their output into a single beam, the Death Beam will make use of large slabs of glass connected in a series. While these slab lasers have historically been prone to overheating and issues with beam quality, developers are claiming that this new design works well, as arranging the slabs in a series has apparently helped alleviate some of the issues surrounding them. However, their true effectiveness is yet to be proven. The Death Beam. Number 5. Tactical Ultra-Short Pulsed Laser. Alright, generally speaking, most lasers work by shooting out a long, contiguous beam. However, the tactical ultra-short pulsed laser looks like something out of a Star Wars movie due to its ability to shoot beams in small pellets, essentially making the weapon a laser machine gun. The idea is that it will shoot out bursts that use up to 5 terawatts of energy and are as short as 30 femtoseconds in length, and that can be fired at a rate of up to 50 per second. This gives them a marked advantage over conventional lasers, as rather than have to focus a beam at one target for a few seconds, these can act in short bursts that can be aimed at multiple targets at once. There's also a hope that because of its relatively high power settings, it will be able to take down large targets such as cruise missiles. However, the specifics around the tactical ultra-short pulse laser's effectiveness will likely not be known until the weapon is made public in August of this year. Number 4. Cyber weapons. In a world where everything is becoming more digitized, it makes sense that cyber weapons are becoming the new way of the future. Now, while hacking may be the mainstream way of causing cyber terror, there are actual cyber weapons that can effectively do the same job. One such weapon is STUXnet. Likely developed between 2005 and 2010 via a collaboration between the United States and Israel, it specifically targeted programmable logic controllers, or PLCs, which are the devices used to control machinery and industrial processes. To date, it's reportedly ruined almost 1/5 of Iran's nuclear centrifuges, while infecting nearly 200,000 Iranian computers, and has caused a total of 1,000 Iranian machines to physically degrade. Sometimes these weapons have to be used internally, such as the case with the Great Cannon of China. This weapon is used to hijack foreign web traffic intended for Chinese websites and instead reroute it to targeted web servers, allowing China to, along with other measures such as the Great Firewall of China, effectively censor its internet. Given their effectiveness, it should come as no surprise that these cyber weapons are becoming more and more common, and only time will tell exactly how effective they can become. Number 3. The Iron Dome. The Israeli Defense Force, or IDF, is known for being an exceptionally effective army, yet their most effective weapon by far is definitely their Iron Dome defense system. In service since 2011, the Iron Dome is an air defense system which essentially attempts to intercept rockets being fired into Israeli territory. In terms of function, the Iron Dome first uses a radar that detects incoming rockets. Then its command and control system processes their location, and then finally, the interceptor sends out a missile to destroy the incoming rocket. According to the IDF, the system is extremely effective against the types of short-range rockets that generally come out of Palestine, as the system is able to shoot them down between 85 and 90% of the time. However, while the Iron Dome is a powerful weapon, it isn't a perfect solution. After all, medium-range missiles and ballistic missiles that could potentially come from Lebanon or Iran would be difficult for the Iron Dome to intercept. There's also an issue around quantity control, as while the Iron Dome is effective 90% of the time, Palestinians have gotten around its effectiveness by simply launching hundreds, if not thousands, of missiles at one time in order to ensure that at least some would hit their targets. However, given the fact that it's in the process of being complemented by other missile defense systems, there will likely soon come a time where Palestinian missile attacks will be completely neutralized. Number 2. The corner shot. In hostage and terrorist situations, it can be hard for special forces to safely neutralize an attacker. After all, these people generally tend to barricade themselves into a given area, and so unless a soldier puts themselves in immense danger by busting through the door or a set of barriers, it's more than likely that they'll be shot at before they can get a shot in. This is where the corner shot comes into play. Developed by Lieutenant Colonel Amos Golan of the Israeli Defense Forces, it's a weapon accessory that allows your gun to navigate corners due to its ability to shoot up, down, left, or right by using a swivel mechanism. In order to ensure the accuracy, the corner shot comes equipped with a camera so the operator can see their target even if their target cannot see them. While other accessories such as detachable cameras, audio-video transmission kits, visible and infrared lasers, tactical flashlights, suppressors, and rubber bullets can all be added if need be. If all that wasn't enough, it has a multi-weapon capability, and it can be attached to semi-automatic pistols, assault rifle pistols, or even grenade launchers in order to perform the task at hand. The corner shot is used by SWAT teams and special forces from around the world, yet it turns out that this firearm is not entirely unique. That's because countries like Iran and China have copycat weapons, allowing them to fulfill the same functions without buying corner shots from an Israeli supplier. Yet, despite the fakes, I'd still say that the corner shot is a pretty cool piece of equipment. Number 1. Smart guns. Okay, it's no secret that the United States is crazy about guns. Unsurprisingly, their high rate of gun usage has also caused a lot of problems, as America's inability to properly regulate gun use has led to everything from school shootings to terrible accidents. However, in recent years, smart guns have been developed in order to get around this problem. The idea of a smart gun is that it will only fire once specific safety conditions are met. For example, the Armatix IP-1 is the most advanced of these weapons, and it only works with the help of a wearable watch. More specifically, the watch requires the entering of a PIN code in order to arm the weapon, and shows charge levels on both the watch and the gun. The watch itself is waterproof, and one charge of the weapon will last a total of 5,000 rounds. In order to function, the gun communicates with the watch via RFID, and the watch will only allow the gun to fire if it's less than 10 inches away from the watch. However, other smart guns, such as the IntelliGun, are a little less restrictive. The IntelliGun works by essentially modifying an existing model of a firearm so that it only activates after the owner uses a fingerprint scanner. Yet, as you might expect, American gun advocacy groups such as the NRA have long campaigned against the smart gun, saying that on philosophical grounds, guns should not rely on any mechanisms that are more advanced than Newtonian physics. These advocates also have other concerns, as they've complained that these guns could either not work during emergencies or be hacked by people. While the second reason may seem a bit ridiculous, surprisingly, it is actually within the realm of possibility, as a hacker by the name of Plor hacked the Armatix weapon so that it would shoot on his command. He reportedly did this because while he likes the idea of smart guns, he thinks that they need to be more fail-proof against hackers before they enter the wider market. Yet while such intentions are noble, many have used this event to totally denounce the existence of smart guns. And unless gun companies get their act together, it's likely that the development of smart guns will be completely halted. Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.